SINOMACH International Equipment Co., Ltd. 726T-5 Motor Grader User Manual. Dear customers, thank you for purchasing the 726T-5 motor grader from SINOMACH Heavy Industry. To help you get the most out of your product, this manual provides a detailed overview of the important precautions and maintenance guidelines for the proper use of the 726T-5 motor grader. We believe that SINOMACH products will deliver an excellent working experience and contribute to greater success and profitability for your operations. This video consists of the following sections. Chapter 1 Machine Structure. Chapter 2 Safety Instruction. Chapter 3 Operational Instruction. Chapter 4 Maintenance Instruction. Chapter 1 Machine Structure. Nameplate. Machine serial number. Front frame. Rear frame. Articulation cylinder. Dual check valve group for articulation cylinder. Articulation lock rod. Front axle. Front wheel drive motor. Front wheel drive system main control valve. Rear axle. Wet brake. Tandem box. Front counterweight. Front wheel tilt cylinder. Bidirectional hydraulic lock for front wheel tilt and rotation. Front wheel steering cylinder. Traction frame. Worm gear box. Hydraulic motor. Ring gear. Rotary joint. Center shift bracket. Traction frame swing cylinder. Bidirectional balance valve. Lock pin cylinder. Blade. Blade angle cylinder. Blade side shift cylinder. Blade lift cylinder. Main control valve. Dual pump, front wheel drive, working system. Pre-fill valve. Foot brake valve. Service brake accumulator. Lock pin cylinder control valve block. Hydraulic oil tank and fuel tank assembly. Air pre-filter. Exhaust pipe. Engine hood. Engine. Air conditioning compressor. Dual pump, steering and braking. Evaporator. Receiver dryer. Condenser. Cab. Seat assembly. Brake pedal. Electronic accelerator pedal. Parking brake. Air conditioning control panel. Left control lever group. Right control lever group. Key switch. Hand throttle. Transmission gear selector lever. Console switch assembly. Transmission instrument panel. Instrument panel. Cab roof light. Front combination light. Work light. Rear combination light. Front wiper. Rear wiper. Transmission. Torque converter. Water radiator. Intercooler. Transmission oil cooler. Hydraulic oil cooler. Power switch. Battery box. Chapter 2 Safety Instruction. Without identification or design approval from our technical department, no modifications to the machine structure may be made. Our company bears no responsibility for any safety issues or damages resulting from unauthorized alterations. All operators must be authorized and trained. Drivers must thoroughly read the user manual and strictly follow all operating procedures and maintenance requirements. Operators must be familiar with all warning and instructional labels. Maintain a healthy physical condition. Do not operate the machine under the influence of alcohol or medication. Operators should understand the function of all controls, indicators, and installation components. To ensure operator safety and machine longevity, perform pre-startup inspections and regular checks as specified. Follow the prescribed tasks and precautions in this job, and make all necessary preparations. When refueling or handling flammable materials, the engine must be turned off. Smoking and open flames are not allowed near the battery charging area. Never work underneath the motor grader when supported only by a jack. If under-machine work is required, use safety supports. Be aware of bridge weight limits when crossing bridges. When working near power lines, ensure safe clearance between lines and the top of the machine. Keep rear-view mirrors and cab windows clean and unobstructed to maintain good visibility. Please maintain a safe distance near the frame hinge to prevent injury from being pinched while turning the grader. Refer to the designated lifting points when hoisting the grader. Stay clear of the rear of the machine to avoid collisions. Do not reach into the engine fan area to avoid injury. Use caution when climbing grader to prevent slips or falls. Before starting, reversing, or operating the working attachments, sound the horn to ensure the area is clear. Avoid maintenance while the engine is running. Disconnect the power supply before servicing the engine or electrical system. No passengers are allowed in the cab or any other part of the grader during travel. Slow down before turning, sharp turns and sudden deceleration are prohibited. Avoid turning on slopes whenever possible. Drive slowly in rainy or snowy conditions. Do not coast downhill in neutral to prevent engine stalling. High-speed driving is strictly prohibited during operations, manual gear shifting is recommended. If the engine must be started in an enclosed area, ensure adequate ventilation. Exhaust gases can be lethal. When parking, place the gear lever in neutral, lower the scraper blade to the ground and place all safety control levers in the locked position. Do not perform any repairs or maintenance while the grader is in operation. Before carrying out any repairs or maintenance, chock the wheels and hang a warning sign. If engine on maintenance is required, take appropriate safety precautions. After work is complete, turn off the main power switch. Also turn off the main power switch during transportation, inspection, or maintenance. Chapter 3 Operational Instruction. Pre-start inspection. To ensure operator safety and extend the service life of the grader, a thorough walk-around inspection must be performed before starting the engine. Visually inspect the frame welds for any cracks. Check hydraulic hoses for signs of aging or surface cracks. Look for oil or coolant leaks on the ground beneath the machine. Visually inspect the tires for cracks or bulges and check tire pressure. Low pressure reduces load capacity and shortens tire life. High pressure increases vehicle vibration and causes central tread wear. Check for loose wheel bolts. Ensure cab windows are clean for good visibility. Check the coolant level in the radiator. Be sure to release internal pressure before opening the radiator cap. Flammable materials such as wood chips, dry leaves, or paper can cause fires. Inspect and clean the engine compartment. Check the engine oil level and confirm it is within the required range. Check the transmission oil level and determine the correct dipstick reading based on oil temperature. Check the diesel fuel gauge. If refueling is needed, use a filter screen and fill the tank completely to reduce moisture condensation inside the tank. Adjust the seat to a comfortable position and fasten the seat belt. Before starting the engine, ensure all control levers are in the neutral or locked position. Release the parking brake. The parking brake indicator light will turn off accordingly. Double-check that the transmission shift lever is in neutral. Post-start inspection. Insert the key and turn it to the on position. Then turn the key clockwise to engage the starter motor. The engine should start. Do not crank the engine for more than 20 seconds at a time. If the engine fails to start within 10 seconds, wait 1 minute before trying again. If the engine fails to start after 4 or 5 attempts, identify and resolve the issue before attempting again. After the engine starts. After the engine starts, check that all gauges and warning indicators are functioning properly. Confirm lighting system is operating normally. Ensure all hydraulic cylinders operate as expected. Operate the transmission control lever, confirming normal forward and reverse travel. Drive the grader slowly and listen carefully for abnormal sounds from the engine, transmission, or drive line. In a safe area, perform left and right turning tests to check steering performance. Test the service brake for proper operation. Shut down the engine and inspect around and beneath the grader for any coolant or lubricant leaks. Startup cautions. Do not re-engage the starter while the engine flywheel and starter motor are still spinning. This may damage the starter gear and flywheel ring gear. When engine coolant temperature is below 55 degrees Celsius and hydraulic oil temperature is below 45 degrees Celsius. Avoid high-speed driving or full-load operation, especially in winter conditions. Do not shut off the battery master switch while the engine is running, as this can damage the alternator and other electrical components. Avoid prolonged engine idling. In cold climates, allow time for hydraulic oil to warm up after engine start by cycling all hydraulic functions repeatedly. Instrument panel overview. Fuel gauge displays the fuel level. Left turn indicator light. LCD display screen shows torque converter oil temperature, total engine operating hours, transmission gear position, engine speed, engine oil pressure, and voltage. Right turn indicator light. Water temperature gauge displays the engine coolant temperature. Preheat indicator light illuminates when the preheater is working, preheat function is optional. Charging indicator light illuminates when the key switch is turned on, turns off after engine starts. Low gear pressure indicator light illuminates when transmission gear pressure is below 1.2 MPa. Service brake indicator light illuminates when the foot brake is applied. Engine warning indicator light. Parking brake indicator light illuminates when the handbrake is engaged. Low oil pressure indicator light illuminates when engine oil pressure is below 0.08 MPa. Low brake hydraulic pressure indicator light illuminates when brake hydraulic pressure is below 11.5 MPa. Water in fuel indicator light illuminates when water level in the fuel-water separator reaches a certain level. Horn button. Front-wheel drive adjustment knob, used to adjust the traction force of the front-wheel drive system. Headlight switch, controls the front combination headlight. Rear light switch, controls the cab's rear light. Work light switch, controls the front cab light and blade work light. Rear wiper switch, controls the rear wiper motor. Front-wheel drive control switch, turn on the switch to activate the front-wheel drive system. Frame pin valve switch, controls the solenoid valve to level the blade. Throttle mode switch, press to activate hand throttle, release to use foot throttle. Front wiper rocker switch, controls the front wiper. Wiper washer switch, controls the spraying of washer fluid for the windshield wipers. Instrument light switch, press to illuminate background lights for all switches and instruments. Hazard warning switch, press this switch when the vehicle is parked, both left and right turn signal lights will flash simultaneously to indicate a road hazard warning. Blade valve switch, controls the solenoid valve to level the blade. Auxiliary power outlet, provides 24V power supply for operator use. USB power port. Transmission diagnostic port, interface for checking or modifying transmission data/status via CAN line. Engine diagnostic port, interface for checking or modifying engine data/status via CAN line. Pre-driving inspection. Check if the turn signal indicators are functioning properly. Check if the horn sounds normally. Observe whether the engine exhaust smoke appears normal. Turn the steering wheel to inspect the reliability and sealing of the steering system. Ensure all lights are functioning correctly. Driving instructions. Blade operation. Set to the minimum blade pitch angle and fully raise the blade. Ensure the safe distance between the blade and the tires. When using articulated steering, pay extra attention to avoid blade-tire contact. Choose a suitable driving mode based on the working environment. Transmission modes. 1. Automatic mode. Press the gear lever unlock button, then push forward or backward and release the button. The lever will engage and lock into the forward or reverse gear. The operator only needs to press the accelerator pedal, and the system will automatically shift gears based on engine speed and gearbox load. 2. Manual mode. While in any forward or reverse gear, press the unlock button again. The gearbox locks the current gear, entering manual mode. Downshift, push the gear lever to the left. Upshift, push the gear lever to the right. Recommendations. Use gears 1 to 3 for ground leveling operations. Use gears 4 to 6 for traveling. Manual mode is recommended for construction work. Note, the machine uses hydraulic shifting, so shifting does not require stopping. Shifting techniques, manual mode. Shifting from low gear to high gear. First accelerate, then slightly release the accelerator when shifting. Shifting from high gear to low gear. Reduce vehicle speed, then increase throttle when shifting. Direction change, forward/reverse. Always press the brake pedal before changing direction. Shift only after braking, then release the brake pedal. Failing to do so may cause severe transmission shock, damaging parts, or causing clutch lockup due to overheating friction. Pedal functions. Accelerator pedal. Controls fuel supply to the engine. Engine idles when released, revs up when pressed. Brake pedal. Applies vehicle brakes. Cut off the power output of the transmission clutch. The rear brake indicator light will turn on. Working operations. Blade raise and lower. Blade side shift left and right. Blade angle increase and decrease. Blade turning left and right. Articulation cylinder steer left and right. Traction frame swing left and right. Front wheels tilt left and right. Lock pin cylinder extend and retract pin. Operation method for front-wheel drive. The front-wheel drive control switch is located on the right control panel. By default, the switch is OFF, and the front-wheel drive system is not engaged. To activate the front-wheel drive system, press the patterned end of the switch. Note, this switch can only be operated when the engine is running and the transmission is in neutral. Do not operate the switch while the machine is moving forward or backward, as it may pose a safety risk. When the engine is shut off, ensure the front-wheel drive switch is in the OFF position. The rotary knob on the right control panel is used to adjust the traction force of the front-wheel drive system. To reduce front-wheel traction, rotate the knob toward the smaller value. To increase traction, rotate it toward the larger value. The front wheel assist drive function is available only in forward gear 1, forward gear 2, and reverse gear 1. In all other gears, the machine is rear-wheel drive only. Operations. Blade working angles. The angle between the blade and the center line of the machine is known as the blade working angle. When leveling road surface, the blade working angle is typically set to 60 degrees. For harder materials, smaller blade working angle should be used. Blade positioning. Maximum cutting angle, fully extend the blade forward. Suitable for spreading, shaping, and road leveling tasks. Standard cutting angle, adjust the blade to a vertical position. This is the default setup for general leveling operations. Minimum cutting angle, retract the blade fully backward. Primarily used for stripping and material relocation. Application tips. For stripping and material relocation tasks, use a small cutting angle, e.g., 40 degrees, use a larger cutting angle, e.g., 45 to 60 degrees, this enhances shearing force and reduces lateral soil resistance. For fine leveling, spreading, or mixing tasks, use a larger cutting angle, e.g., 60 degrees, use a smaller blade working angle, e.g., 0 degrees, this improves work efficiency and leveling accuracy. Shutdown procedure. Reduce engine speed and step on the brake pedal to stop the machine. Move the gear shift lever to the neutral position. Lower the engine speed to 800 to 1000 rpm. Keep the engine idle for 3 to 5 minutes to gradually cool down. Lower the working attachments flat onto the ground. Place all control levers in the neutral position. Turn the key switch counterclockwise to the OFF position to shut down the engine. Turn off the main power switch. Long-term storage. Clean the entire machine and let it dry. Before storing it indoors, fill the fuel tank, add lubricant, and replace the engine oil. Reduce tire pressure to about 80% of the standard operating pressure. Apply a thin layer of grease to the surfaces of the hydraulic cylinder rods. Disconnect the battery terminals and cover them, or remove the battery from the grader and store it separately. Add appropriate antifreeze to the radiator. Chapter 4 Maintenance Instruction. Regular maintenance of the engine intake system. Always perform air filter maintenance after the engine has been shut off. Check the engine air intake system and ensure the air filter and connection hoses are not loose. Release the retaining clamps, remove the dust tray, and clean out the accumulated dust. Remove the primary filter element, and use compressed air to blow it from the inside out, following the length of the pleats. Air pressure must not exceed 0.2 MPa. Do not wash the filter with oil or water. After cleaning the primary filter, inspect it carefully. If the filter paper is torn, or the rubber seal on the end cap is detached, replace it with a new one. The inner filter is a safety element, which does not require maintenance. However, if the primary filter is damaged or heavily dust-covered, both elements must be replaced together. When reinstalling, ensure the filter element seats properly and is fully sealed with no air leakage. The air filter housing must be undamaged, and the dust tray clamps must be tightened to ensure sealing. The rubber dust discharge valve should point straight down. Never operate the machine without the dust discharge valve installed. Every 50 hours, check and maintain the primary filter, and inspect the safety filter. After 5 cleanings, replace the air filter with a new one. If the operating environment is particularly harsh, shorten the maintenance interval accordingly. Regular maintenance of the engine fuel system. The first service for the new engine is at 50 hours, which requires replacing the diesel fuel filter and fuel water separator. Subsequently, every 500 hours, replace both the fuel filter and fuel water separator. Wipe away any dirt on the fuel filter seat and housing. Use a specialized tool to remove the old filter, and clean the filter base to ensure the sealing surface is clear. Otherwise, poor sealing may result. Apply clean lubricating oil to the O-ring of the new filter, and fill the filter with diesel fuel. Install the new fuel filter onto the base and hand tighten. Then use the tool to tighten an additional 1/2 to 3/4 turn. Start the engine and check the filter seal for leaks. Drain the water from the bottom of the fuel water separator daily before operation. Always select the appropriate diesel grade based on the local climate temperature. Regular maintenance of the engine lubrication system. The first maintenance for the new machine is at 50 hours, which includes changing the engine oil and oil filter. After that, change both every 250 hours. When the engine is still warm, remove the crankcase drain plug to drain the oil. Wipe the filter seat and housing clean. Remove the old oil filter by using a specialized tool, and clean the sealing area of the filter base. Apply clean lubricating oil to the new filter's O-ring and fill it with new engine oil. Install the new filter and hand tighten, then use the tool to tighten it 1/2 to 3/4 turn. Clean the sealing surface and reinstall the oil drain plug. Open the oil filler cap and add diesel engine oil according to the specified grade and viscosity. Start the engine and let it idle for 3 minutes, then shut it off. Check the filter seal. Wait for 5 minutes to allow the oil to return to the sump, then use the dipstick to check the oil level. It should be between the upper and lower marks. The engine oil capacity is 22 liters. For ambient temperatures between -20 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius, use CH grade or higher, viscosity 15W 40. For temperatures below -20 degrees Celsius, use CH grade or higher, viscosity 5W 20. Regular maintenance of the transmission system. The first maintenance for the new machine is at 100 hours, requiring replacement of the transmission oil and filter. After that, change both every 1000 hours. The transmission oil capacity is 35 liters. The oil grade and specification should match the engine oil. When the engine has just been shut down and the transmission is still warm, remove the transmission drain plug to let the oil drain out. Clean the dirt from the filter housing and seat. Remove the old filter using a special tool and clean the filter base sealing area. Apply clean lubricating oil to the O-ring of the new filter, fill it with new oil, and install it onto the filter seat. Hand tighten, then use a tool to further tighten 1/2 to 3/4 turn. Clean the drain plug mounting surface and reinstall the plug. Unscrew the dipstick cap, and add transmission oil that meets the specified grade and standard. Start the engine and let it run for about 3 minutes. Check the filter seal for leaks and inspect the oil level on the transmission dipstick. At this time, the oil level should be between the lower and middle marks on the dipstick. Note, reaching the cold oil level only ensures sufficient circulation for the transmission and torque converter. The final standard is the hot oil level, with the engine running and transmission oil temperature at 80 degrees Celsius, the level should be between the middle and upper marks on the dipstick. Regular maintenance of the hydraulic system. First service at 100 hours, replace the return oil filter in the hydraulic tank. After that, every 1000 hours, replace both the hydraulic oil and the inlet/return filters. The hydraulic oil capacity is 170 liters. For ambient temperatures -20 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius, use hydraulic oil with ISO VG32 viscosity. For -10 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius, use ISO VG46 hydraulic oil. Regular maintenance of the drive axle. First service at 100 hours, replace the gear oil. After that, replace gear oil every 1000 hours. Oil capacity is 30 liters. Drain the gear oil from the rear drive axle, clean out any debris from the bottom of the axle housing, and refill until oil overflows from the fill plug on the side of the axle housing. For ambient temperatures -10 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius, use 85W90 heavy-duty gear oil. For colder climates -40 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius, use 75W90 heavy-duty gear oil. Regular maintenance of the tandem box. First service at 100 hours, and then every 1000 hours, replace the gear oil. Oil capacity, 220 liters. Use the same oil specification as the drive axle. Remove the drain plug at the bottom of the tandem box to release oil and clean out any debris. Tighten the drain plug and refill oil until it overflows from the oil level port. The tandem box is connected to the wheel side wet brake. When adding oil through the tandem box, the oil levels of both components must be checked simultaneously. Routine maintenance of the turbine case. Replace the gear oil every 1000 hours. Oil capacity, 7 liters. Using the same oil type as the drive axle. Remove the drain plug at the bottom of the turbine case, drain the oil, clean out debris, reinstall the plug, and refill until the oil reaches the middle mark of the sight glass. Routine maintenance of the cooling system. When the engine is cool, check the coolant level. Slowly unscrew the radiator cap to release the internal pressure, then remove the cap. The coolant level should be 10 to 15 mm below the filler neck. To avoid engine damage. Do not add coolant to an overheated engine. Allow the engine to cool down completely before refilling. Choose coolant based on local temperature conditions. The freezing point of the coolant should be about 10 degrees Celsius lower than the lowest local ambient temperature. Daily maintenance of the electrical system. Check whether the alternator belt tension meets the requirements. The belt deflection should be 10 to 15 mm. If the belt is too tight, it may cause premature damage to the water pump bearings and alternator bearings. If the belt is too loose, it may cause slippage, reduce belt life, and lead to engine overheating. Check the wiring terminals of the starter motor and alternator for looseness. Inspect the fuse box one by one to check if any fuses are damaged. Fuse ratings include 10A, 15A, 20A, 30A, 40A. The specification of the main fuse is 100A. Even maintenance-free batteries should be regularly checked via the battery indicator window. Green indicates the battery is fully charged. Black indicates low charge and that the battery needs recharging. Daily maintenance of the air conditioning system. Check the air conditioning belt tension. When pressing the belt with approximately 98 N, 10 kgf, of force, the belt should deflect by 8 to 10 mm. Visually inspect the liquid sight glass on the receiver dryer. If bubbles are present in the flowing liquid, it indicates insufficient refrigerant. If no bubbles are seen, the refrigerant level is normal. Scheduled maintenance of working attachments and structural components. Every 50 operating hours. Lubricate the center articulation pin of the front axle, 2 points in total. Lubricate the upper and lower kingpins on both the left and right steering knuckles, 4 points in total. Lubricate both ends of the lateral swing rod, 2 points in total. Apply supplementary grease to both end pin joints of the oscillating frame, 2 points in total. Apply supplementary grease to the motor, 4 points in total. Lubricate both ends of the front wheel tilt cylinders, 2 points in total. Lubricate the steering cylinder pins on the front axle, 2 points in total. Lubricate the articulated ball caps on the traction frame, 1 points in total. Lubricate both ends of the traction frame swing cylinders, 4 points in total. Lubricate the center shift bracket, 4 points in total. Lubricate the upper and lower articulation shafts, 2 points in total. Lubricate both ends of the left and right articulation cylinder pins, 4 points in total. Lubricate left and right blade lift cylinders, 8 points in total. Lubricate the blade angle adjustment cylinder pins, 4 points in total. Lubricate the blade holder, 4 points in total. Lubricate the blade track. Lubricate the connection points between the rear axle and the tandem box, 4 points in total. Every 100 operating hours. Lubricate the drive shaft, 3 points in total. Daily maintenance requirements for the driving system. Every 50 operating hours. Check for looseness or missing bolts and nuts at the connection between the front/rear frame and the front/rear axles. Check the driveshaft connection bolts for tightness. Check the engine mounting bolts for tightness. Check the transmission mounting bolts for tightness. Regular tire pressure inspection. Every 50 operating hours, check the tire pressure. Front tires, 3.2 MPa. Middle and rear tires, 3.4 MPa.